Hello and welcome to the final episode of the Extreme Hardware podcast for 2019. I am joined by a limited crew here in both, count as well as memory capacity. I am joined by the ever-loving Frick Frock.
Oh, what happened? What happened to the onomatopoeia?
No, it's gone.
It's you did it the whole year. I think you earned a break.
Yes, thank you, Chris. I mean, Frick.
Chris.
Anyway, moving on quickly. We have someone here who is joining us, who is currently eating.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Clementines are good, bro, okay?
We have our resident gamer girl / cat with us here today.
Hello.
And we have Andrew. Anyway.
Hello.
Yes.
I
the
ruined
first
that
time
for you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Since how it is the last episode of the year, we thought we'd do something slightly different, something less formal, more casual, and also since how it is, in a way, the last episode of the decade. I know it's
It is the last
technicality.
episode of the decade.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been doing it for a few months, but
See you
still
next
technically.
decade.
Anyway, we thought we would do sort of a best of the decade style episode. Nothing too formal, nothing too serious, not actually going to say this is the best, but kind of weigh in our opinions on different categories around the best of the decade or things that made a very notable change from 2010 to the end of 2019. So that should be hopefully kind of interesting. And it is actually quite interesting to go back and look at how much, especially computers and technology, has changed in 10 years. The beginning of 2009, I don't even believe League of Legends was released. The beginning of 2009, Team Fortress, I shouldn't say 2009, I should say 2010. Team Fortress 2 just got hats in 2010.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it has been quite a while.
Wow. That was a thing then too. That was like
Indie games weren't even moving towards Steam. They were still on Humble Bundle as well as XBLA, which I don't know.
Xbox Live.
Thank you.
It's for the 360.
Thank you. And another interesting gaming thing that happened in 2010 was StarCraft 2 was finally released after 11 years since the first one. I think the first one was 99 or 97. I can't remember exactly. But that was a ridiculously hyped up game when it came out. And of course, in 2011, we got Skyrim, which, became its own thing. And we got the successor to Duke Nukem 3D.
yes.
And that went well, just as Frick knows.
Like game.
Were you even paying attention?
I know. I do. I've had that little Duke Nukem Forever collectible bust in my videos before.
Oh,
Yeah?
Yeah, that's the only way you could get. I have a little Duke Nukem figure, and the only way you could get it is if you pre-order the collector's edition.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Nice.
only remember it. Frick used it for scale.
I do. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh my god.
Oh, and for some clarification, League of Legends actually did release in 2009 to
Oh.
beta.
Moxie
So-
just jumped on my lap like clockwork.
Here we go. So wait. So
Nice.
I think the fun stuff is all the stuff that failed spectacularly. So do you want
Windows
to
8.
Which
Oh,
one?
Sorry. Right. Sorry. Windows 8 also came out in 2012, which was.
Wait, really? Man. That seems like it was so long ago.
Mm.
I mean, like it kind of was, but like
Yeah, there's some interesting things. Let's just go through some different categories as well. So one of the ones that we have listed out is the biggest surprise of the tens, or shall we say the last decade, with regards to computer hardware. And we can kind of do it maybe for games or something like that. But what would you guys say is the biggest surprise in computer hardware?
Ryzen, because I have one.
I don't know. I have no idea. I honestly
it's
have no idea.
I would say it was Ryzen, because I thought it would be terrible after the launch of Bulldozer, which was
Bulldozer
just
was
awful.
You can no, okay. I wouldn't say Bulldozer would have been a surprise because kind of the benchmarks got leaked for it and everyone was like, "Ooh, it's going to be bad." And then there were people doubting said benchmarks, etc., etc. The similar.
Are we talking about a single piece of hardware or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of. Like Sandy Bridge, for example. That was kind of a surprise in the fact that it was such a big upgrade from Nehalem.
Yeah, I think probably it would have to be NVIDIA's Quattro line and how that led to like machine learning and basically changing the internet as we know it now.
Oh yeah, those deep fakes.
Yeah, I think that like the ability to do deep fakes now, and that all happened because of machine learning, and that I think it's the Quattro line of NVIDIA cards that are specifically made for that. Like that is game changing, and that's going to have implications for decades to come.
Could you count VR under that? And I don't mean the one we have now. I mean the DK1. Because where did DK1 come from? That was just out of the blue.
Yeah, well, no, it's a matter of figuring out, which one more people would be affected by, right? So that's how I'm looking at it. For me, if I'm looking, like going through my usual day-to-day, I don't see people talking about or would be affected by virtual reality that much, but I do know people that would be affected every single day by like deep fakes and like an algorithm that's determined by YouTube or an algorithm that's determined by Instagram or Facebook or how news stories show up or something like that. You see what I'm saying?
Sure, but I wouldn't say the Quadro was specifically relating to doing that. That just enabled some of it. I think Ryzen's probably actually one of the best ones to say because no one really expected it to be that great. I would say Ryzen's pretty good.
Yes, Ryzen, or like
you want to know what I
was talking about earlier, like an SSD and how that. Well, but then again, because SSDs got really mainstream within the last decade, but they were technically introduced in like 2008.
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
That's when they were introduced. Is that long ago?
Actually, NVMe's, because they sort of came out of nowhere and
they did.
Suddenly got like gigabytes per second of speed.
I can't really count Optane because that's kind of been a bit of a flop, and Chris isn't here to argue otherwise.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. We need Chris's chaos in the tech world.
I didn't even have a computer half of this decade, guys.
That's a lie.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I've seen you online.
Yeah,
exactly. Don't say I didn't have a computer.
I meant like a desktop.
I had a laptop.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a desktop. I had a crappy laptop. But there was like a 2-year period where I didn't even have that.
Caitlin,
what?
Is a laptop a computer?
Stop. I need to replace my laptop screen because I dropped a candle on it.
How?
What?
I was like reaching for something behind my desk and my laptop was sitting on the floor and I knocked the candle over by accident and yeah.
Was it a Bath and Body Works candle?
It was not a Bath and Body Works candle.
That's why your laptop screen broke.
It was a heavy candle and yeah, I have to buy a replacement screen. Not the first time I've had to replace the screen on this laptop, but
what was the other times?
Well, with my old laptop once, I got really pissed that the internet wasn't working and I threw my laptop. And then with this laptop, I think Lucy jumped down from like my dresser or something onto the laptop and it like broke the screen a little bit.
Oh.
So I replaced it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over some of the lists of what some of the best tech products of the decade were, and 3 out of 3 of them are all listing the iPad as number 1 or number 2.
Why?
I have no idea.
Are these tech websites very boomer-esque?
Oh my
because,
God, like
okay, no, boomers, sounds stupid. Boomers absolutely love the iPad. I swear the iPad demographic is way, way older. Like it's technically probably like 3 to 9, parent gives kid iPad to sit on YouTube all day. Or then like
Basically.
no one buys an iPad until they're like 35. And then people start buying iPads.
I've seen people whip these things out at concerts. I've never seen a more ridiculous display.
Who carries an iPad in public? I've seen that as well. I've seen someone make a phone call on an iPad before. It's like, It's like, okay, well, I get that's completely possible, and yes, you can do it. Why?
Oh my
Like,
God.
why would you take an iPad in public? Why are you taking a picture with an iPad in the road where you have a phone? Why do you need the big screen?
You go to watch any video from like a couple years ago of when the iPad first came out and watch concert footage of around that year. Dude, it's like you're guaranteed to see at least 5 or 10 iPads just recording the concerts.
Wow.
And they're these huge, obnoxious things. They're the worst thing you can bring to a concert because they block views of everyone behind you.
Oh yeah, let alone like you could get them. How you can't put it in your pocket. So you have to have like a backpack, which is weird. Then you could get pickpocketed, or you could lose your backpack, or you could just break the iPad.
I have a little strap to keep it secure. You know how
like the pizza holder from Stanley in The Office. They got an iPad strap.
Yeah, right. No, you could be one of those uncles that has their cell phone constantly on their belt at all times.
Oh God. Dude, honestly, when I'm gonna love being like 55 to 65. I'm gonna purposefully do stuff that annoys people, like, you know,
do the young kid dance and do just Fortnite shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say run around and do Fortnite.
Yeah, no, like
all the time.
and have like my pager in my belt with, you know, the
So not a pager, an iPhone 6,
and then like the nice chub and tuck, some khaki cargo pants, you know, but way too short.
You gotta have
and then have a really bad like
Bluetooth headset.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
You always gotta be yelling at
like a really obvious like comb over as well.
Oh no! Oh, and get one of those bucket hats too. Those really like straw brimmed bucket hats that are almost a floor but not quite.
Yeah. Have you seen? Yeah, I'm sure you've seen Filthy Frank. You know his Safari Man character.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I just dressed like that.
Here, check this out.
See if I can find a picture of it.
So when the iPad's not listed as number 1, the Google Assistant and like Siri is listed up there, and that actually, that is
interesting.
I could see that.
Because do you think, and I think this is definitely a possibility, that Siri basically opened the door to home assistance / home automation, not home automation, because home automation's been around forever. It just got really worse. And now they're kind of fixing it, because home automation used to be pretty much open source. Everything could talk to everything. And then when Siri came along, and then when Alexa came along and Google Assistant came along, then it started going, you know, only Google stuff works with Google stuff, only Amazon with Amazon, etc., etc. Although recently, very related, there's been all those 3 tech giants have come together and basically agreed that their stuff is going to work together with each other, which I think is really cool. So now you can use your
jumping on my lap.
your Google Assistant to power, or go to your Alexa hub to, you know, your home pod or whatever you want to do, which is pretty neat.
It's sort of a gimmick, right? When that first dropped, everyone's like, no one's going to want to like have this walking recording thing in your house at all times. No one's going to allow that. And now it's so ubiquitous at this point. Like, I don't know anybody that hasn't used that assistant or used some sort of function.
I'll use it sometimes.
I find it's very polarizing in terms of people that I speak to about it. So I have the TRUD-free hub and lights. I have different types of TRUD-free lights and a dimmer. And I like it because it's the dumbest of the smart home devices, in a sense that there's no microphone in any of the devices, and they're just a light bulb with, you know, a circuit board attached to it. You attach it to the hub, you control it from your phone, all the things. Like, it's very simple and cheap.
That's true.
I find it kind of interesting in terms of like the mixed responses I get, because I work in IT, and half of the responses are like, oh, that's actually really cool, because I can turn on and off my lights when I'm not even at my apartment, you know. I can tell it to do a whole bunch of sort of automated things, which I suppose are very minor.
It actually does it though?
I don't see it. Yeah, it's just saying it does. But no, I know
the real questions here.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could install a camera and set up a camera. And I do have a camera. I just stood on it, and that's my fault. because basically I wanted to do, the peepholes you have in your main door into the apartment.
Yeah.
I wanted to put a camera there through the peephole, so I didn't have to look in the peephole, and just set it up on my server, so I can just, someone knocks, I can be super lazy and just look at the camera. But that didn't work. Mainly because I broke it, but also, setting up the wiring and how it would actually talk reliably to my server and things like that were a pain. Anyway, 50% of the people I talk to at my company are, the thing is pretty cool. And the other half are like, oh, you're in IT, you must know it's terrible. Why'd you bother doing it? So what do you guys think about home assistants? In the varying levels, like just having smart lights and smart appliances all the way to...
I think it would be cool, I guess.
No. Okay, so not future home automation, but let's say the current one. What do you think about, like, if someone came to you, like Google or Amazon came to you and said, we're going to install all our light bulbs in your house, all the Nest or Ring light doorbells and cameras and all that kind of stuff, and and the Sonos speakers now as well, and the smart blinds and the smart tinting windows and the
smart tinting windows.
Yep, the smart coffee machine, smart fridge. Completely.
You got to have a juicer that's connected to the internet too.
Smart juicer. No, you completely smart your house, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
As opposed to a dumb house, but yes.
But you can't, like, you have to use that forever now. You can't replace any of those appliances. I mean, if the new ones come out, you can, but you have to stick within the smart ecosphere, and you have to leave all the telemetry, all the network gathering, everything on.
No.
Would you do it?
No.
I mean,
they give you those devices for free.
I'm getting it for
I still
free.
wouldn't.
And am I getting... Okay, so do I just get the devices for free, or do I get something else?
No, you just get... They basically replace all your current, anything that they can in the smart ecosphere with their latest and greatest smart ecosphere, but you have to opt into absolutely everything they do.
I would do it. I would do it.
So you would do it?
Fuck.
Why?
Oh, I didn't mean to curse. I don't know, because I just think it would be cool. I'm all down.
It's like I wanted a better explanation. It's cool.
I know. I just think that, okay. First of all, I'm lazy. All right.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm a lazy man.
No, but
but I think it would be cool because, like,
I
don't know, that type of stuff. Just like it's interesting to me. Like, it's cool that I can be like, tell my phone, hey, start my washer. And then my washer starts, which I think that's just kind of stupid because you kind of have to be there to put the stuff in the washer anyways.
I was gonna say.
But I mean, like, for something like that, like, it would be cool if like let's say they actually make these. They make like Wi-Fi enabled like slow cookers. Like, you could use that.
Oh, yes,
to, like,
I've seen that.
Yeah, so like that would be like useful. Or maybe I left the lights on in my kitchen and I don't feel like getting up to turn them off. Just be like, yo, turn off the lights in my kitchen.
So what do you think about all the telemetry side of it then?
What do you mean?
Information gathering.
I don't care. I don't do anything wrong.
Oh no!
What if someone? Someone should
argument.
As long as like
people get triggered with that argument, you have no idea.
Oh, I don't do anything wrong. But like, I know that a lot of people are like really like concerned about stuff like that. But like, look at this, like. How many people are signed up to use Facebook, and like Mark Zuckerberg is like selling our information to like thousands of freaking things. Like, you know what? I don't care.
It's a bit hypocritical for you to.
I signed up to use the website. There are so many people that are so angry about it that still use the website every single day. So it's like, don't act like you're like high and mighty or whatever, like social justice warrior about this crap when like you feed into it. Like, if you're going to be that type of person, I think you need to be that type of person that's like completely off the grid.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I'm going to say no because I think there's multiple layers to it. Like, I actually am quite persnickety about privacy, but I'm not like completely off the grid. I don't think it's black and white because I'm persnickety about privacy in terms of, I think GDPR is really cool. I think CPPA is really cool. That's basically GDPR for California.
Yeah.
which is forcing a whole bunch of other states to just, oh crap, we're probably going to have to be forced to implement this, starting to think about user privacy and telling them what is actually being tracked. Like, a lot of people think GDPR just came about resulted in the cookies that say okay to accept.
Yeah.
But it's the whole idea that the website's telling you that they are tracking you. And in a lot of cases, you can say, no, I don't want you to keep cookies. And it actually keeps working.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of it is also like, a lot of people don't read any of the stuff that they sign up
for. That's fine.
So it's like, but it's like also
but
like,
if people complain about that, like, oh, I'm not going to read the TOS, and then, essentially break one of the rules, and then I get the Facebook argument
that you can't actually legally enforce anything that's in the terms of service agreement.
Oh yeah, but it's a lot more sort of just use of said website. Like, I know some people do stuff on Facebook which violates their terms, and then they get kicked off or banned of Facebook, and they kind of go, oh, my freedom of speech or whatever. Sorry.
Was the thing that, oh God, you want to talk about some of the worst things to come out of the decade? Those posts that would be like, in 4 days, Facebook.
I love that.
$5 to use it. Post this.
Like, my whole thing is like, nobody is forcing you to use Facebook. So it's like,
yes, if sorry, can I just argue with this?
But nobody, argue with me. No one's forcing you to use Facebook. So like, why
no one's forcing you, but there can be huge consequences for not using it. Okay, well, kind of. So what I mean is,
what? I don't get to talk to my family? Psh, don't care.
No, but maybe let's say you do care about that, right?
Yeah.
Like, the only way to reach your family is on Facebook, and you actually don't hate them. That would be really annoying.
But there's always other ways.
Example, sure.
If you have Facebook, you have email.
Yes, okay. Well, the better example is Facebook Marketplace. I hate that it's getting popular. I hate that actually that's probably where you can get the best deals, because I do have a Facebook, but I haven't logged into it in probably 10 years. I don't want to do with anything Facebook or deal with anything Facebook. And that means I'm probably going to be missing out on quite a lot of deals when I look to buy something secondhand, which is really annoying.
I don't know. I just Craigslist, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know. It's like, obviously there's an alternative, but it's just annoying knowing that I might actually be missing out on something really good because I don't want Facebook just sucking my data. Sorry, zucking my data.
You just
I don't know.
The thing about the 2010s is the the resurgence
of
FOMO. That FOMO thing coming out.
Okay, frick, I thought you were going to say... No, I thought you were going to say the worst thing about the 2010s for me is privacy issues. They have absolutely taken up
a lot of that privacy stuff. One, which I guess you can believe them if you want, but a lot of them that collect data, like Google and Facebook and whoever the hell else, they all say it's like anonymized, right? So your data is mixed together.
Have you seen it before? So one cool thing... Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
One of the things that you'll see is like, oh, it's all mixed together, like the name's removed, like anything identifying you is removed. And then like you have stories come out about like Alexas or like Google recordings being used to like solve murders. And it's like...
Yeah, I brought that up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, right.
So, okay, I've done the interesting thing of requesting all my data from Google, which you can do. And
you can do that?
Yes, I can't remember. It's the very roundabout way. Like, you can get the Amazon Live support chat, but they make it like very roundabout, so not many people go into it, which is an actual UI design thing that's terrible. Anyway, I did the same from Discord, and Discord's also like, oh no, we can't really gather any kind of identifying information from you. Their things are so verbatim. In terms of this IP chat to this IP, this is where you move your cursor. These are all the files you've uploaded and shared and stuff like that. It's
I don't know. I feel like as long as nobody can get my social security number, go right ahead. Don't care.
With the Equifax Act, someone already
does. I mean,
that's ruined my life. Just kidding. My credit score has gone up, and I have excellent credit now, guys.
Oh, there you go. I can buy a house.
But I definitely think sort of not just privacy, but people stealing information being a lot more hard to keep to yourself online is definitely one of the worst trends of this decade. Because when you're browsing the internet in 2007, do you really think anyone gave a crap about privacy?
No.
Because I don't think people, that's going to sound dumb, but I don't think people really had that much of a reason to. I'm sure they were being tracked as well, but
Yeah, they were.
I think it was just so much less. It wasn't really a privacy concern.
It's not it was less, it's just they didn't know about it.
So like, yeah, well, I guess people on the internet were ignorant then about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people still are, but
There's a certain amount of stuff that just goes into blinders, and the more stuff you realize, like the more stuff you find out about, oh, this is tracking you, or this is tracking you, this is tracking you, eventually you just tune it out, and you're like, nah, you just assume.
yeah, that's kind of
the
like
Donald
me.
Trump tactic.
That's kind of like me.
Sorry,
Just
the alleged Donald Trump tactic.
I hope somebody's watching me.
What?
I hope somebody's
Whoa.
watching me. No,
Okay,
Don't worry,
this
Cass,
is not
I am.
that kind of podcast.
I know.
Gotta get some coins.
Wait, what? Okay, I'm not going to ask what that reference is to, actually. So I mean, that was a big tangent. I don't even know how we started that. But moving on to more negative, I mean, that was kind of negative things. Who would you say is in PC sort of hardware the how do I put this? One of the worst companies, one of the most money-sucking companies of the past decade.
Yay.
Alienware?
Every time.
Or
Like,
Apple.
what is the worst for the PC enthusiast company of the year? Sorry,
Yay.
decade.
It's EA. It's always been EA.
EA. Hasn't EA won the worst company of the year like 6 times?
You know what's funny about that?
I think it's
have
more than that.
They hold votes around every company in America, and somehow EA managed to beat like banks and like people like single-handedly caused like the housing crisis in the country, and EA beat them.
Oh my word.
But yeah.
Okay.
I think
So So EA has won worst company of the year in 2012. Sorry, worst company in America in 2012 and 2013. Bank of America came second.
What? Wait, why Bank of America?
Comcast also won a few times. BP won when they oopsie whoopsied in the Gulf
Into the
of
Gulf of
Mexico. Like, it's a little bit of a gross oversimplification.
Whoopsie. Yeah, that was a big oopsie whoopsie.
Yeah.
That wasn't even BP though. That was contractors.
Yeah, but BP got all the flack for that. And they vetted and approved them, so. Oops. It is dependent on who does these lists, though.
It's always
Because
different,
There's a big vote
Yeah.
though, isn't there? Like online.
that was
I
on
suppose-
the Consumerist. There's like, and the Consumerist was a magazine that actually ended in 2016. So
I suppose
yeah.
online polls don't really count. Like, look at what 4chan's done over the last decade with polls.
yes, both with 2 L's and with 1 L.
Probably shouldn't talk about what they did.
Oh no! Yes, okay. That really, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh,
Sorry.
no.
Sorry, I was thinking of something else. Anyway, so amongst EA, yeah, EA. Who else?
If we're talking about like people,
What would you say for PC hardware company?
if it's dude, then it's got to be Thermal Take, the ones that cause Case Labs to go out.
Oh, well,
What?
Case Labs went out of business because of the increased tariffs. They
Thermal Take ripping them off on a massive scale didn't help.
No, so that didn't help. So one of the there was a whole bunch of contributing factors, and I remember reading the email from them because I was probably in the next 3 months going to buy a Case Labs case. And then, that happened. Case Labs had been my like dream case because it does everything I need. It's expensive, but it's like literally everything I needed. But yeah, the email was along the lines of, along with, there was that hike in tariffs of getting aluminium from China. And because they were such a small company, they couldn't put bids on like the big chunks of aluminium that were coming into America. So the prices rose up quite quickly because of the tariffs. And they just couldn't afford aluminium. Thermaltake were also, aluminum. Thermaltake were also, getting heavily inspired from their designs. And that didn't help either. So, yeah, they were pretty bad. Would you say,
Looking at
probably NVIDIA.
Of what's said.
NVIDIA's not, well,
they've just been consistently pushing up the price of their GPUs.
Yeah, but that's just.
Well, I suppose Intel have been doing the same.
People kept buying them. You can't blame NVIDIA for that.
Yeah, I suppose.
The mining as well kind of turned quite a few companies it kind of showed the true colors of a lot of companies when they saw that they could make a quick buck. Quite a few GPU companies said if your GPU's been mined on, we're voiding a warranty.
Oh, and God. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's just, they don't want to pay for the people sending them back and being, really kind of rude about it. Other companies, was it the Razor coin? Bitcoin was actually invented, I think, in 2009 as well.
It's right under the cutoff date.
But do you remember the Razor coin? I don't know if it's still going around.
Yeah, dude, Razer did their own cryptocurrency. AMD did their own cryptocurrency.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what?
Everyone did.
Actually, Dogecoin was pretty good.
Yeah,
they sponsored a NASCAR.
I mean, things about 2010, subcoins, Bitcoin, gone crazy in the past 10 years.
It's the revolution, baby.
Like, did you mine Dogecoin when it came out?
Oh no, I was very big into the mining scene. I did not mine Dogecoin.
I mined Dogecoin, dude.
It's one of the most stable cryptocurrencies out there right now.
Did you see my Doge Christmas shirt?
Oh, Doge Christmas shirt, very fancy.
Yeah. Oh, I like Doge actually. Doge is probably one of my favorite memes, just because it's been going around forever.
Best meme of 2010?
It was like 2011, wasn't it?
I think it was 2011. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, because it was when Rage comics were big. So 2010 to 2012.
2013. Sorry, he came out. The meme got popularized in 2013.
Emerged.
I love the new Doge memes. I'm sorry.
Hey, okay, yeah, we got to talk about the best memes of the decade.
Memes of the decade, dude.
It's the Simpsons.
I know you're a connoisseur.
Memes of the I am a meme goddess.
Goddess of memes.
Yeah.
All hail.
Kat, I love how it's folded over there.
I know. Wait, what?
Wait, did you do that on purpose?
No. It's because of
Kat, I'm including that in the document.
Okay, that's fine.
There you go. I cropped it.
It's because of my that area is large.
Large.
Okay.
The area above is large. I couldn't get a good picture of it because the whole But yeah, that's my Doge Christmas shirt.
What did that cost?
I don't know. My sister got it for me, not last year, but the year before for Christmas.
So
I have like 5 Christmas shirts. So
yeah, the Doge memes, the memes in 2010 to 2019. What would you say is the most prominent meme, and why is it Doge?
Do you think it's Doge? Do you really think it is?
It has lasted so long. So 2013 to 2019, 6 years.
Yeah, but SpongeBob's been consistently there.
Oh,
yeah, but there were different formats.
Low.
There were different formats.
And The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
The Simpsons as well.
I'm going to Google memes of the decade and see what's on there.
Okay, I got a list here of the best memes of the decade. And the top 3.
Dude, what about Pepe, bro?
Oh my goodness.
No, can't do Pepe anymore. That's racist.
The hate crime.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm only clarifying my definition of it. It has to have been consistent throughout the whole decade. It can't just be big for 1 year and then fall off, right?
So it
It's
had to
gotta
be something that had to be for the whole decade.
It's got to be one of those things that's always like, if you went on Reddit in the past like couple of weeks, you would find this meme there. That's how I'm counting it.
All right, let's see. I don't know. Harambe, but that didn't even start till 2016.
No, Harambe, dead meme.
Oh,
right,
I think
all right.
this
What
has been
about-
going on forever. It's been really like low
What about
popularity.
the troll face?
Once again, dead meme. Well, hang on.
Oh, how about what's that old guy's
Doge
name?
is from 2013. That was its peak year.
Is it Herbert?
Oh, Hide the Pain Herald.
Yeah, him.
Yes, Harold.
That's a good one. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
actually living up to the meme standards. His car got clamped recently from when he parked, and there's a picture of him pointing at it with that face.
Oh my goodness.
An overly attached girlfriend. Oh, Drake meme. The Drake meme?
Yeah, that's pretty.
What's that?
Where he's like, you know, the 2 panels of Drake where he's like nodding his head.
Oh,
toward-
yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, and then he's like, yeah.
That's a pretty big one. That's a large one.
Have you ever thought about, because kind of a lot of the stuff on the internet's relatively new, have you ever thought about like, you know, Reddit's got a really bad sorting system of like day, week, month, year, all time, I think. As it gets older, do you think they're going to sort add like as 5 years, 10 years? Like you're going to be on YouTube in
Wait,
I don't know,
guys.
a decade
What
and it's going to
about-
say uploaded 25 years ago.
What about Grumpy Cat?
Oh, that's
Or
right.
Rick Grumpy. Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, I forgot about Grumpy
Born
Cat
in
until I
meme.
just saw it on the thing.
Thinking right now, God, you know what? The more I think about it, the more I think that troll face is probably it's troll face.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't think of anything more because that started in 2010 and it's still used today. It's the oldest one by far. I
Yeah.
think troll
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, bro.
Wait, what about Gabe the dog?
Who's Gabe the dog?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know Gabe the dog.
Oh
no, I don't know Gabe the dog.
The barking boy.
Everything else is too new.
Gabe in the 90s. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's it. Not that anyone can see, but that's the clamped meme I was just talking about.
They did an interview with that guy. I think I forget what his name is. Like it was some German broadcasting company that did an interview about what he thinks about being a meme. And he's
doesn't
like,
he love it?
Yeah.
at first he was like, I don't understand. And then he's like, you know what? That's fine. I'll get used to it. He just sort of accepted it.
He did a TED talk as well. I was just saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Was it bad?
No, it was actually pretty good.
Oh.
Like he said he didn't like being a meme at first, but then like over time he just sort of started enjoying it because it brought like joy to people.
And he has no idea why.
Yeah.
Why? He knows why. He's not stupid. He knows exactly why, good sir.
Yes. So, yeah, worst company of the year, I guess. EA still. So
to
I'm
that.
trying to go back. No, because the next one is what would you say is the best and then the worst trend in PC gaming, PC hardware, just
RGB.
PC enthusiasts.
RGB is the worst.
Yeah.
Why is
Best
it
or
the
worst?
worst? Why is it the worst though?
Horrible.
Yeah, it is the worst.
I would say it's the worst in terms of, I thought when it was coming, like, you know, people going, I'm going to do an RGB this or that. At very first, like, that's really awesome. So now I can choose to set it to red or cyan or green or whatever if I really want to, and not just be stuck by different motherboards or whatever, having one being red, one being blue, one being green, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No, everyone just was like, ooh, there's the rainbow cycle mode. Like,
Yeah.
That's
it
what my
probably
keyboard's
shipped-
at right now.
But it probably shipped with like the first ones with rainbow cycle mode is the first thing to do, and everyone's like, "That's awesome." And everyone
Yeah,
just
I'll
left
take
it.
it. I'll take a picture of my keyboard right now.
But why? What's with the rainbow cycle mode?
because one, I'm too lazy to change it.
It's really annoying
It's
Yeah,
pretty.
but why did that
And
become
three,
popular?
3,
to show off your RGBs.
I'm a girl. I'm a
I just-
gamer girl.
I
Certified
think it's
gamer
gonna
girl.
age so badly. I think like
Yeah,
people are gonna
it's
just
going to end up being
suddenly-
like the those tuned cars from the early 2000s, like Fast and
Or-
Furious.
or like
Oh my
interior
God.
decorating. I think it's gonna be like a shag carpet from the
Oh
70s.
my God, Caitlin, what the hell?
Like, I really think RGB is just going to suddenly, everyone's going to stop liking it like shag carpets and just
Why
stop
do you
in,
hate
like,
my
1
keyboard,
year.
bro?
So
Wait.
for those, so Kate, for those that can't see it, which was most of you, she posted this like horrifically offensive keyboard.
It's got like, you know, those
Why is
tribal
it
tattoos.
offensive?
You know those
Oh.
tribal tattoos that like
It's
very
the year
loose,
of the dog.
very
Oh.
loose women have.
It's a ducky, bro.
Kat,
you're
I
kind
am very confused here. I thought you bought the same keyboard me and Alex have.
No, she bought the worst
bought-
one. The
I bought
much
the
worse
RGB
one.
one.
The much
Oh,
worse
no.
one. It has a tramp stamp, Caitlin.
No, it doesn't. It's a dog.
Yeah, no, it's got the tramp stamp, it's got the RGB, and it's got MX Reds.
Oh,
Wow, is that MX Reds?
I don't remember.
No, it is, because you said you bought
Caitlin.
MX Reds because you prefer them, and you're wrong.
Wow,
Okay.
Caitlin.
Might as well buy Rubber Dome.
Stop saying my name.
Goodness gracious me. Well, okay. So, worst trend, RGB.
Nope.
What is the best trend of the decade?
Battle
PC
Royale.
gaming?
No, not Battle Royale. I would actually say simulator hardware, like driving
Actually,
simulator hardware.
hang on. Sorry, just going back to the previous one. RGB is not the worst. Microtransactions are the worst.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not hardware.
Okay, fine. RGB for hardware, microtransactions for anything PC gaming.
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, now best for hardware and then best for PC gaming.
Hardware, either VR, which I just thought of, or like the biggest sort of trend is driving simulator hardware, like steering wheels.
Yeah. Sim stuff.
2009, there
better.
wasn't really that much of an option. Like it was either a Logitech
Logitech.
G25 or spend like tens of thousands on high-end hardware. Now there's a lot of mid-range things.
Logitech with the G25 really pushed forward consumer sim stuff. Like, I don't know, made it mainstream.
Yeah, and then on the other side is the VR, which you can't really explain what it's like to use. It's really good. You sort of just have to try it, but don't try those terrible cheap ones because you won't like it.
Another really good sort of trend that I've liked with PC hardware over the last sort of decade is there's a few. I would say how much easier it is to get a decent color IPS panel with a high refresh rate.
Yes.
That used to be really hard not so long ago.
I suppose there's SSDs as well now. They're really
That's
cheap.
kind of just, SSDs are cheap and hard drives are cheap, but that's kind of like, I suppose it's a bit innovation, I suppose.
Because I got a terabyte SSD from Samsung for, I think it was £120,
Oh my God.
which is like, I don't even know how much it is. I think it's like $150, but that's with 20% tax.
They gave it to you for that price.
Yeah.
You're
I need
stealing.
another one. I've used all of it.
Wait, you want to know what I think the worst trend is? Gaming chairs.
Oh, I think they're like a lot of these kind of trends. People go, oh my God, okay, now we realize why they're bad. Like, you know, when sort of the PC hardware everyone kind of admitted that how they've been doing sound is garbage, and everyone was like, okay, we're going to actually try to put good audio on motherboards and advertise it because it is actually worth something. I think that's going to happen to gaming chairs at some point. Like, people are going to realize they're really uncomfortable and overpriced. And
Yeah, they're super overpriced.
The perfect
not meant to be.
chair already
race
exists.
chair.
It's called the Herman Miller Arion, and it's the best
Yes.
chair you'll ever get.
Dude, I
Wait,
want to see
link
a
it.
PC. No, it's thousands of dollars. I want to see.
It's not thousands. It's a couple $100.
Oh,
It's
really?
$900
They just got us all new chairs at work, like new work chairs, and I looked them up, and they're like $350 like ergonomic chairs, and it is the most comfortable computer chair I've ever sat in my life.
You got to realize. So I'll give you the link. It's called the Herman Miller Arion. It goes for $400 new. However, if you go to a place that's selling them slightly used, you can get them for like $200. Do not skimp. There's two things you never skimp money on: your mattress and your chair. You don't skimp on them because you spend a lot of time on them.
Yeah.
Invest, my child. Invest. It's incredibly. Dude, the thing about these gaming chairs is they're all designed to be for like race cars or something. And that's not
they're all like
being
like, how is that comfortable? No.
Yeah, they're really, really not comfortable. Something that annoyed me as well with having a gaming chair, because I had one for probably 1 week before I realized how bad it was, and a friend of mine really wanted to buy one, so I was like, "Here, you can have mine for like 20% off." I've used it for 1 week. Because there's those upright supports on the left and the right, you can't sit cross-legged at all in those chairs. They're so uncomfortable. And the 4D wrists that they all have, because they're all the same bloody model, they wobble like crazy. It's like it's terrible. But like, they're all the same model chair as well.
Yeah, you got a good chair. Well, I think PewDiePie got most famous for his chairs. He kind of set the trend a bit, even though it was like later in the game.
Yeah.
But it's not only is it uncomfortable, but why the hell are they so expensive? Like, what is it about them?
Marketing.
The styling of them, like, justifies that type of cost? Because I can't think of it.
Dude, it's totally the marketing cost.
Yeah. Like, I'll admit, like, I've sat in a few before and they're comfortable, like, right away. But after you sit in them for, like, an hour, my back starts hurting. Like, even with, like, the lumbar support or whatever. Like,
oh, that annoys me. Because I don't have the best of backs, essentially. Like,
yeah, neither do I.
My back isn't made of iron. So I'm kind of, when I got my back sort of sorted out again, I also kind of made a point of learning why it would go bad, feel bad, etc. How to, alleviate the pain and make it better type thing. And just doing simple research. Like, anytime you need a cushion behind your neck and behind your lower back to make it ergonomic, that's a horrible design. And it was, because it was like sitting between two washboards. And they just gave you some crappy $1 Chinese cushion and be like, oh no, okay, it's fine. It's fine for your back because the cushion makes it good.
Some balsa wood and enjoy.
Yeah, but the backs are so flat on those. It's terrible.
Well,
and they label them as ergonomic.
Here's the worst thing you can do, and I learned this a while ago, is do not buy a gaming chair that's made of leather. Don't do it.
No, don't.
Leather.
Oh,
can I show you? This is not a gaming chair. This is just a PC chair I had after like 2 years. The pleather was horrible. It was shedding pleather like crazy.
Oh my God.
I hated it. Flakes of pleather everywhere. Like, I've just used mesh only chairs from then onwards, because in the summer it's amazing to put a fan behind your chair to go through. Also, no pleather.
Yeah, don't do it. That's why that Herman Miller Arion chair, it's like a mesh material that's totally translucent, or it's whatever. It's got holes.
It's trans.
It's very DJ Tiesto. It's just great. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Because you have to breathe, man. You got to breathe.
Yeah.
Things happen if you don't.
Okay, so that's among some of the worst trends as well. What about the worst game of the worst and the best game of the entire decade?
The best is Fallout 76.
No.
What about the 700 versions of Skyrim? I own 3 of them.
Okay, wait, hold on. I had the 360 version. Had it on PS4. Mm-hmm. I have it on Switch and I have it on PC.
Why? Why would you buy that many copies of it?
Okay, listen. The first one I got from a guy that I was like dating. Okay. Oh, then the second one I bought on PS4. I bought the PC one when it was on sale in like a Steam sale, and then I got the one for my Switch as a gift. So I only bought it twice.
Oh, okay. That's much better.
Is that okay?
I bought it once. I had it on PS3. Someone bought it for me. And then I bought it on Steam with all the DLCs, which gave me the enhanced edition for free. So I've got 3 copies that I've technically only bought 1.
I've never played it. or owned it or did anything with it.
I was gonna say the same. I've never owned Skyrim ever.
They're one of those things where, I mean, I feel like I've been exposed to it so much. I feel like I've played it already.
Yeah. I've played it actually, like quite a fair amount, but I've played it on my cousin's computer, or when else did I play it?
It's my favorite game. I have a Skyrim tattoo. Okay.
Oh no, Caitlin. Okay, I think
I
Skyrim
told you guys this. I have a Skyrim tattoo.
Did not know these things.
I think it's ridiculously overrated.
I love it.
The story is not that good. The story is bad.
Listen, it's about what the game means to me, okay?
But it's not a good story.
It's fine. It doesn't have to be a good story. The game means
I'm looking at it right now. So here, according to a Metacritic rating, right, this, objectively speaking, are the best games of the decade, right?
This all.
All right.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Number 1, Grand Theft Auto 5.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
No, it isn't.
Number
the story
2
is worse than GTA 4, and the online is just terrible.
Number 2 is Breath of the Wild.
What website is this from?
Time.com.
All right.
Red Dead Redemption is next.
Which one? Because both of them were released this decade.
First one.
Yeah, the first one's really good.
Which doesn't count because it wasn't released in the 2010s.
It wasn't?
It technically was, if you want to count the when it came out of alpha or beta or whatever it was.
It was released in 2009.
That was the first versions in alpha.
When did it come out?
Version
Okay,
1 was released in 2012, wasn't it?
I started on 0.71, I think. Or 0.1. No, not 0.17. 0.017?
Well, I'm looking at the version history.
Is BioShock Infinite on this list?
Let's see. Well, in the top 10. Okay, so hey,
if it's not, it's a crap list.
Right now,
BioShock Infinite was so overrated. People loved it. I hated that game.
So good.
It was so boring.
It goes Fortnite, Dark Souls, League of Legends, and
no,
what the
wrong.
hell?
This is wrong.
League of Legends, and then
what about Breath of the Wild?
It's number 2.
It's so new though. I don't really like awards that kind of like things that came out just recently that are quite decent. They give basically car of the year. Like I think it was Motorsport or Motor Trend gave the C8 the car of the year, sports car of the year.
It's not even out yet. The model year is 2020.
Yeah, it's like way to jump the gun.
Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Apparently, I was deceived. That was someone else making a bunch of stuff up. This is the actual Metacritic list for the most highly rated one. The top 10.
It's broken.
Not looking. The link's broken.
All right. You gave us a broken link.
What?
The link's broken, and also you need to stop typing out your bit.ly links. It's really weird.
It auto links. You. Hang on.
So Frick Frog insists that his copy paste is broken on his computer, and he types out everything.
I don't know why you got to.
So when he's typing, he's going HTTPS. He's instead of pasting that. Oh my.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
There you go. That works.
So the first one, Super Mario Galaxy. That's number 1 of the decade. Galaxy 2.
Okay.
Then Breath of the Wild.
Apparently, it's very. I haven't played that.
And then Red Dead Redemption 2. And then Grand Theft Auto 5. Super Mario Odyssey. Mass Effect 2. Skyrim is number 7. Last of Us.
Mass Effect was so overrated.
I forgot about Last of Us. The
top 10.
This is a good list.
Those are the top 10.
BioShock Infinite's not on it. Oh, it's 15.
BioShock Infinite.
I don't think it's good. Nier Automata is missing there.
It's on there.
No, it's not.
Oh,
it's on the top 10.
It's on. No, yeah, that's true.
Is it on the list at all?
It's the top 50 of the decade. So.
Oh
Nier
yeah.
Automata. No,
Little Big Planet 2. That was really good. I forgot that game existed until I just saw this list.
Portal 2's 11.
Oh my god, we didn't talk about the music games that were so big. Oh lord.
What, like Rock Band?
Like Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
Oh yeah.
My goodness. Yeah, Rock Band 3 was a good but that was like
No, that came out
that
way
was like
earlier.
more
I remember,
last decade.
yeah, I remember playing that in like 2007, probably.
Rock Band came out this decade.
What?
Rock Band 3 came out in 2010. That means there was 2 more before that. That came out before that.
DJ Hero came out this decade. So there you go. That's the only one that matters. That was a genre that everyone thought would last forever.
Look, Undertale's on there too. I have an Undertale tattoo. Too.
Oh no, Caitlin.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm your basic gamer girl.
Undertale is, from what I heard, pretty good with the music and whatnot.
The music is awesome. I bought the vinyl soundtrack.
It's made by one man, a little foxy boy.
I know.
One little foxy boy. I don't really disagree with anything on this list. I think it's all pretty accurate.
What about Pokemon Go?
That's
not a mobile game.
Okay.
Soccer moms and 10-year-olds.
What about Candy Crush?
Yeah, Candy Crush.
That's the same thing.
I play Candy Crush.
Oh no, still?
Yep.
That's sad.
Yep.
My mom also plays Candy Crush.
Yeah, it's a mom game.
Oh.
Ew.
BioShock Infinite was terrible.
It was.
It was so bad.
Liked it.
I
want to play it
BioShock
again. Wait, do I have it?
2. It was terrible.
Do I have it? This is the question.
Oh, everyone has it. It was like given away for free practically.
No, when I played it on 360. I borrowed it from my friend, so I don't know if I ended up buying it or not.
Do you think it's better than BioShock and BioShock 2?
BioShock Infinite was a game where
I never played BioShock 2. I have it, but I never played it. But I have BioShock. I really liked BioShock.
It has such an interesting world, but the combat, dude, the gameplay just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, you're kind of right with that. I'm not going to disagree with you.
It's like, well, okay. The thing is, when you have a game, and that's actually, I've heard the same thing about Skyrim, the game world is so vast and interesting, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in it, but the combat of that game is so clunky that it's saps all the enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a similar thread. You can have, it's on this list, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. It's number 7, but God, I don't know how people do that when that's so much of the game is combat, and it's for it to be lacking. It's just ugh.
What else came out in the past decade that was ginormous? The Doki Doki Literature Club. Like that became so weirdly mainstream.
Is that still free on Steam?
Probably.
How do they make any money off that?
I don't know. I don't think it was meant to be a serious thing that they did. I think it was like a side project of an actual studio. And it just kind of blew up.
Yeah, it blew up, all right. You got that right. I'm looking on their site right now to see how they make any money. Okay, so on Itch.io, apparently, you can kind of pay whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or you can just download it for free. So I'm assuming that's how they did it, because there's no way to give them any kind of money.
Yeah. Okay.
So either you buy it for free, or you kind of do like a pay whatever you want thing. Okay, that makes more sense.
What would you say then is the best AMD CEO of the year?
Lisa Sue.
Like that Lisa Sue.
What?
She enjoys the Formula Ones.
I was like, what?
Yeah, it's a dumb joke. What else would be like interesting to look back on in terms of this decade for PC hardware?
Let's see. We got the video games. We got the.
Would you say the rise of mechanical keyboards?
Because those have always kind of been a thing, right?
But many people don't know what mechanical keyboards are.
Do they just like kind of buy, it's a fancy keyboard?
You gotta go with the revolution. You gotta go with that Wu-Tang analog keyboard. That's the revolution.
Oh, wow.
My sister just bought an Alienware keyboard because it was pretty. And it's white and has RGB lights.
Oh, she doesn't care that it's like MX browns or reds or whatever.
No, she texted me and said, I fell in love with it. Then I took a picture of it and sent it to me.
Is it one of
It's like, I don't even
rubber
know who
dome
I am
ones?
anymore. Oh no, I'll send you the picture that she sent me.
How they make keyboards. How much does an Alienware keyboard? Hang on.
I would say PC mice have actually probably gotten worse. And that's kind of some very fanatic mouse people would probably get in a tiz.
Oh, that new Logitech mouse, they rebranded that, the G5, I think? The MX518 came back.
Yeah, I like the MX518, and I think that was a great mouse. I suppose as soon as like the G502 came out, I don't know, that's it. That's the perfect mouse.
If you think of the most prolific mouse of the decade, it's the Death Adder. 100%.
I love the Death Adder. It's one of my favorites.
I think everyone had one at some point.
Yeah.
So good. It's still one of the best mice out there. Like, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people went from like their really crappy stock HP mouse, whatever, when they were a kid and their mom bought them their PC and it's a beige box or whatever. And they went from, the beige HP mouse to the Death Adder mouse. I was like, ooh, I have a gaming mouse now. I'm going to do amazing in Warcraft 2 or 3.
I'm a real gamer.
Yeah.
What about worst logo change of the decade, which is Corsair? Because everyone's forgot they've done this.
Holy crap. I
The
can't
neckbeard thing.
The Corsair ship, it's kind of cool, and I like how they change it. And then they're like, okay, we're going to make some tribal tattoo for our logo.
I remember that. That's terrible.
So bad. What else? Who else have changed their logo? Logitech went from the word Logitech to G now. I think they might have gone back to Logitech with that stylized G.
They have. And they did.
The weird G.
I think XFX changed their logos as well.
I don't pay attention to that.
I mean, you're forgetting we lost ATI. Is no one going to mourn for ATI?
Oh, yeah. I had an ATI
Wasn't that in
card.
2008?
No, I think it was this decade, was it not?
I can't remember. No, it kind of was. The last one was the ATI HD 4000.
I think it was the 50 because I had a 5850. So
no, it was a 5870. Yeah, I had an ATI 5870 after that, and that was 2009. Dude, the 5870 absolutely changed a whole bunch of stuff with graphics cards. Because it was twice as powerful as a 280, and it used half the power. Crazy.
Yeah, it was a pretty great card. Well, I mean, what would you say was the most important graphics card of the decade?
Oh, why is it not the 5870?
I'm thinking either the 5870 or
the 480 in a weird way.
Wait, what was out in 2010?
So 2009 was the 5870 era. 2010, I think, was GTX 480 and onwards. I think. And we had the HD 7970. The HD 7970 is quite a prolific card. Wasn't
the GTX 280 in 2010?
Wait, do you guys remember my YouTube unboxing video?
Oh, yeah, I do. We've got it saved in the bot.
We have it.
We have it.
I think.
Oh, no, we do. That's not the code for it.
Oh, what is it?
I have no idea.
It's very off topic.
Oh my.
We're not going to get it.
Right.
Where is it?
Where is it?
Let's one quote
not do
there.
This on the podcast, though. But
okay, so here we go. So in the 2010, we had the 600 series, the 700 series, and the 400 and 500 series. So we had a lot.
9. Yeah, it was 9 years ago. 2010, July 8th, 2010. It was GTX 470.
Wow. Oh no! Is that the one with the wood screws?
What? Yes, that was the 480. 480 was with the wood screws.
Oh, the wood
looked like a barbecue thing. That was crazy. What else? I'd say either the 480 HD 7970 or the GTX 1080. Actually,
oh yeah, 1080. Dude, people are still buying 1080s to this day.
Yeah, dude.
They love them.
They're still one of the best GPUs. It's crazy. I have one. It's almost going to be 3 years old, and it's still one of the best you can get. I think it is like the latest, the new gen version of the 7970 or 5870 or 780 Ti that GPU can just hold on to forever.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like the 8800 of its generation.
Oh yeah. Wow, that was
It'll never die. It's like a 2500K. It'll never die.
I still use my 2500K in my server.
It's impervious to all damage.
It's slow.
No,
It's
no,
really
no.
slow.
But it's alive.
It's alive. It'll never die.
It'll never die. Silicon too strong.
That's not how that works, but okay. What else would you say would be notable of the past decade? Maybe the last.
What about worst tech company of the decade, which I'd say is Apple?
No, we
There
said
was,
just tech in general.
yeah, just in general, because there was the whole "you're holding it wrong" with the iPhone 4. That was in 2010. The iPhone 6 bending really easily.
Oh yeah.
And then Apple just suing absolutely everyone, mostly Samsung, between I think around 2012 to 2016. Just suing companies over everything. Oh, I think Simmons has joined us.
What?
Hello, Simmons.
Simmons.
You're a bit late. We're nearly done.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But-
Simmons, we were talking about the worst tech company of the decade. Who it is?
Ooh. I'll have to think about that. Give me about 35 seconds.
You do your thing.
Okay,
need
do
32
the
seconds.
thinking. He is loading his thought.
Think good. Very good.
So yeah, worst tech company.
What about Soldier Boy? Actually, that was pretty bad.
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy was pretty bad. Though,
I still
honestly,
don't think they were as bad as Apple, though. Like,
honestly, if I were to say one, it'd probably be Comcast, but that's only just out of spite, probably.
Yeah,
I
Comcast
have-
bad.
I have Comcast.
would they
Rip.
count as tech?
Fast.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
What?
I want to blame Chris.
It's probably my fault.
That scared the crap out of me.
Chris, you summoned your like demonic.
That wasn't even me.
No, it was
I
you.
heard it on my end. It couldn't be me. Alex, you have the recording. You'll find it. You'll find it.
Oh my goodness! I will let you guys know who it is. Goodness.
Mr.
And it will
Brown.
be on the next episode.
on the next
Yes.
episode.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Anyway.
so yeah, I'm gonna definitely go with Comcast only because they have been progressively becoming worse and worse at customer service. And
Do they count as a tech company?
yeah, they do, because I mean they're technically an internet service provider.
I suppose.
Yeah, like so my personal experience with trying to deal with them. So when we first upgraded to our gig internet here, we were only sitting at around 40 meg for like a good month. And every time we would call in, they would say, "Oh yeah, we're working on it. Oh yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, it should be working. Oh yeah, we're working
Yeah,
on
they
it."
weren't working on it.
No, they weren't working on it at all. And it wasn't until I decided to create a Twitter account and bitch at them on my Twitter account that they actually did something about it. And that's the story of how I got a
wait.
Twitter account.
Is this worst tech company of the decade?
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, okay. So you people
we
have
were-
already done Zen is the biggest surprise of the decade.
Yeah, it
yes.
is, and you can't argue
It's
otherwise.
not. You people are wrong.
No,
I'm not going to
no,
elaborate.
Stop it. Oh, good.
Okay. So,
I just want to say that publicly. I do not endorse this.
what else did we say? Oh yeah, we said what was it about Bulldozer that we said?
Bulldozer was a
We're not even
nifty
finished
concept.
recording, and we still forgot what we talked about.
Yes,
Good job.
yes.
Because I don't
Seriously,
remember
like-
either.
Bulldozer had the best multi-threaded scaling per transistor. Like,
That's very specific.
yes, but transistors are expensive, so you want as much multi-core performance as you can with as few transistors as you can buy.
AMD Bulldozer
Whatever.
was the best CPU in the AMD Bulldozer class.
You,
That's not even true because they made 3 better cores after Bulldozer.
it was still Bulldozer.
It was literally the worst of the construction cores.
Bulldozer was the best AMD CPU
Released
named after
in
a-
2011.
2011, named after a bulldozer.
Yeah, I'll buy that. But hang on.
So, Chris, what would you say is the best PC hardware of the past decade?
Ooh, like individual
Actual
component or
hardware
just-
component.
Let's see. There's a lot of good ones.
Can I
and the
generalize?
worst. And the worst.
And the
You
worst.
can generalize, yes.
I would
Worst.
say NVMe SSDs.
There you go. There you see,
Oh.
smart man. Very smart man. That's what I said.
Nah, NVMe is too broad. I would say that, but that's too broad. That's not. I don't want to say that.
Okay, then don't say that.
Yeah, you're right. I won't. Let's see. So the single best piece of silicon is, of course, the Core i5 2500K.
Yeah, boy.
But as
that's
a runner-up,
I'll give you-
I would have to say the RTX 2080 Ti because real-time ray tracing is a hard problem to solve, and NVIDIA did it. So that's nifty.
Fair enough.
Surprisingly well thought out answers. I like that.
I cannot think of anything else that really released in the decade. Like, yeah, SSDs became a lot more common, but overall they were pretty iterative, and it's not like they were invented in 2010. Like, they've been around a few years prior.
See, and that's why I said NVMe specifically.
Yeah.
Because as a technology, we broke out of SATA being the common ground.
That's a good
or
point.
all
Not even NVMe as in like using PCI Express, because PCI Express SSDs did exist. They were usually just like RAID controllers with two different SSD controllers slapped on them
Exactly.
and soldered to one PCI Express card. But yeah, no, NVMe's biggest thing was the fact that it was no longer based on hard disk drives, because AHCI, which SATA SSDs still use, that was made for hard disk drives first and foremost. It's just adapted for flash. Flash drives were flash SSDs were built around that for the longest time, but now we've got NVMe. That's a new thing for this kind of memory.
And that's why I say that is just because this truly allowed Flash to perform at its utmost.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, once SSDs became more affordable and we were regularly butting up against the 600 megabit per second transfer rate that SAT had, or was it 600 megabyte? Regardless.
600 megabytes, 6 gigabit, whatever. SandForce could actually hit that back in like 2010, 2011.
Right. So basically SSDs were just becoming cheaper because the technology was getting better, but the performance wasn't improving. And then here comes big ol' NVMe, and specifically the drive that I think of is the Intel 750 series, where they brought the U.2 form factor, which unfortunately died, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
It exists in data center.
Well, yes and no, because U.2 was a SAS port that was used in the data center, but it was retrofitted for this new NVMe drive.
Right.
So it was basically, you are only going to see this on a select handful of motherboards. And as much as I love my U.2 drives, they're kind of pointless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, its implementation in data center type systems these days is much like, hard disk drives, you still have hot swap bays at the front of a server.
Yep.
And you've just got like a big old PCI Express backplane. I think usually they're using, what is it? It's that SFF cable that is used with SAS. There's also new Oculink cables that you can use, which are PCI Express, but over optical fibers. There's a bunch of ways to do it, but it's mainly based on a backplane.
And then if I were to do a runner-up for best tech of the decade, OLAN.
I hate you. Fuck you. You're the worst. You are actually the worst. You know what? If we think about tech, just in general, more maybe consumer electronic-y type things, like a thing that you can buy, and it's a complete thing. It's not a PC component. I'm not sure if I would nominate the Raspberry Pi for the most influential or the most, I'm not sure why this is a thing. Because there's so much about the Raspberry Pi that really kind of irks me. Like the fact that you can teach kids how to code, but it's a separate computer. So it makes programming seem like this esoteric thing that you can't do on a normal computer. But at the same time, it's an honest to God complete computer, $35, it's got a decent amount of I/O for controlling like electronics, like electrical components, like motors and such. So you can do some neat stuff with it. But I don't know. It's really up in the air in my mind. But definitely influential. So that's good.
So kind of just going off of that, then one that we went over that you might have an interesting weigh in on. What would you say is the best and the worst trends within PC?
Ooh, there's a lot.
I would say the
If we could
easiest.
do one for software and then one for hardware, that's how we broke it up. And what we said, well, I suppose agreed on for software was microtransactions, hardware RGB for worst.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
So I would only argue that microtransactions wouldn't be up there only because they existed well before the decade. However, they really exploited this decade.
especially in premium $60 games.
Yeah.
As opposed to just freemium.
I would absolutely say that probably the worst software trend was we must rush a title because it's going to sell millions of dollars and it's not going to be a quality product.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the circle jerk that is fan bases supporting a bad game, and then because they support a bad game, the producers produce another crappy game. It just that iterative downward spiral of development that we saw for a while. I mean, I would say Call of Duty was a perfect example, but apparently the new Call of Duty is actually good, so I can't.
Yeah, Call of Duty's
Like,
trying to
apparently
turn
it's
it around.
Apparently it is. Like I've had so many individuals say that they've been enjoying playing it, which is great.
I played the beta and it was awful.
Fair.
It's got the best combat of the series.
I enjoyed the COD World War II beta.
Don't do that.
The game.
Not
I
the
like
best
the fire shotgun.
So I would say, and then the best software. You know, I actually don't think I'll have an opinion for this one because I can't really think of anything that stands out as just a really good software iteration.
Windows 10.
No, absolutely not.
I
Simmons.
really like Windows 10 actually.
I mean, I do too, but I'm not happy with it. I like it.
What
But
about Mac?
Windows Phone. Whatever that what was that? What OS did Windows Phone use?
Oh, Windows Phone was actually really good. It's just
Windows
they didn't
Mobile.
market it very well.
It was that and the lack of an app ecosystem. That's what really killed it.
I still have a Windows Phone.
Well, yeah,
I'm
well,
not
you can get a
surprised.
Fire Phone for like nothing nowadays.
So let's see. Best and worst software and hardware. See, I'm tempted to say that RGB is the worst in hardware, but I really feel
that's
like
a cop out.
I know that's the thing. I really feel like there's something else where it's like it used to be good and it got worse, or it's just unnecessary but adds to the cost. And yeah, RGB is definitely the second one. But again, that's such a cop out.
You know,
Technical, you can talk about like Intel's constant exploits that are being discovered on like a weekly basis.
Is that one hardware or is that one software? That's the question.
Both.
That's the thing.
do you
But
consider
even then,
microcode
those
software?
technically have existed for decades beforehand. I think Meltdown went back to the Pentium Pro when they added out of order execution.
Yeah,
You thought
right.
They were like adding them on purpose just to do it.
Nah.
So for worst, yeah, I'm not sure for worst then. I don't like AIOs, to be honest, becoming popular.
I really don't like the trend of motherboards to be loaded down with a lot of crappy plastic and not really have real beefy heat sinks anymore. And I mean, I get it because heat sinks are expensive, but it got to the point where like X570 came out, 50 motherboards on launch day, 49 of them had fans. Only one was completely passive. And that's just silly because we had hotter chipsets in the day and those were all passive. Like I've got a 990FX motherboard on my wall, 20 watt TDP on the North Bridge. It's just got a big friggin' heatsink that is also attached to the VRMs. Like it's just this big chunk of metal.
And
That's
it's a
how they
heat thing
did
that
it.
actually made
Little bit.
sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a block of aesthetic metal that did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess that's understandable since, you know, the only chip on the motherboard that produced any heat was the South Bridge that was like 5 watts. It doesn't even matter. Just stick a little metal plate over it. It's fine. But
Well, I mean, yes, no.
You don't even need a heatsink, just a heat spreader. So I guess that's something that I'm not a fan of.
I would say probably the worst hardware trend is, as SSDs have become more affordable and as, denser drives have become available, less and less cases have optimum expansion capabilities in terms of storage. If you
storage has really gone south.
If you want to get a good storage-friendly case, you are going to be purchasing what is branded as a server chassis.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, I've picked up a couple of BitPhoenix Prodigies a couple months ago because I genuinely like the case, and it's held up really well even today. That's a mini ITX chassis, and yeah, it's a really big mini ITX case.
Oh my gosh.
It holds 5 desktop hard drives, and you can slap 3 SSDs elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think it can actually accommodate 6 SSDs plus 5 desktop hard drives. Like, that's really good. But you just don't get that anymore, even with ATX cases, and it's sad.
Mm-hmm. And the best trend is tempered glass on the case. No.
The most confusing trend, metal PCI Express slots.
Oh yeah,
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand how they work, but I don't think they really provide any shielding, like electrically. I don't think that's the point of them.
I don't think they provide any real structural rigidity either.
No,
they do allegedly,
but not really.
I am perfectly willing to take the claim at face value that this increases the amount of shear force that this slot can withstand by a factor of 3. Like, okay, great. It takes that much more effort to shear it off. When was that ever a problem? Because the case that your expansion card is bolted into should be taking all the weight.
However, if I go to that wonderful Reddit thread where you just see all of the PCI Express slots that people somehow ripped off their motherboards, I still don't know how that happened, but it's still funny to look at.
Yeah, the only way I have damaged a PCI Express slot is I managed to break off a crappy little slidey tab that got caught on the end of a card.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
I did it once when I was like, I put my PC onto a bus, but I didn't secure it properly.
And what do you mean on a bus, Rick? Explain this.
The graphics card.
Like on a
Top
bus.
of the bus?
The graphics card and the CPU cooler were still installed in it, and it was like 200 miles, and it was just bumping up and down and bumping up and down.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I took mine back and forth from college, just like strapped into a seat in the back, like seatbelt on. GPU was still in, but that was secured. CPU cooler was on, but that was secured. And also, they weren't like hanging off. It was supported, so those were sitting on the motherboard, kind of.
No, but have you seen those like Greyhound buses? Those things suspension bounce like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Greyhounds are long boys.
And it also didn't help that it had,
had
a Tunic 120 cooler on it at the time, which is this massive 10-pound metal and steel monstrosity.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I would say also a trend I really like that we spoke about was IPS high refresh rate monitors becoming quite popular.
Yeah, at the very least, IPS. High refresh rate, it's all right. I can see it being useful for gaming, definitely useful for VR, but I'm fine with 60. But IPS, that looks good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And IPS is a lot more affordable these days as well. So the fact that they've developed on the IPS process and you can actually just purchase one for the same price you could purchase a decent TN panel back in the day. It's nice.
Yeah.
That
also,
sounds like 69 nice.
Motherboards onboard audio just getting much better and audio kind of focus.
Because Realtek is improving their audio chips.
Imagine.
Yeah, I guess.
Now, what I will say is a silly trend was remember when they started implementing the
shielded bits or whatever, the PCB.
Yeah, the EMI shield for that portion of the motherboard, and people started doing tests. The first generation, it actually made sense, but anymore, it doesn't matter, and it's just there to add more LEDs to the motherboard.
Go away.
Yeah, that's a really bad trend, honestly. Overly colorful and complex motherboard designs with as much LEDs and edginess and writing on them. Dude.
Now, I will say, in terms of like aesthetically pleasing motherboards, the ASRock Taichi motherboards are some of my favorite.
Yeah, I kind of
But-
like it because it's different, but I'm saying
Hook me up with a super
there's no
microboard.
just
Yeah, right.
yeah, there's no just really boring plain motherboards until the Asus WS range came out.
Right.
Yeah, I really liked the God. My favorite X570 motherboard is the Asus. Hang on, WX X570. Let me find the whole model name. Pro WS X570-ACE or ACE. I don't know if that's supposed to be an acronym or not. Yeah, it's got a fan on the Southbridge heatsink, so that sucks. But the rest of it, it's all rectangles. There's no triangles. There's no hexagons everywhere. It's just rectangular blocks.
Mhm.
It's just basic black.
Well,
There's
and
no RGB.
I think that's why those EVGA, the Dark Edition boards have been just so popular because everything about them is just practical. And-
Also, I really like that one because it gets a PCI Express by 8 slot coming off the chipset, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Something else that actually I just realized took off hugely from, I want to say it's kind of cheating 2009 onwards, is PC cases. Just the development has been crazy.
It has been both extremely positive and extremely negative at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Like,
Because yeah, I mean 2009 was the 800D, which I think changed a lot with
Ace Labs
PC
died.
cases. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
it really do.
Yeah. It'd be
Shut
like
up.
that.
Oh yeah, and you missed when we joined. Kat was busy shoving her face full of gummy bears or something.
Oh yeah,
Wait, were they the Haribo sugar-free gummy bears?
No, they were the sour ones.
Oh, that sounds good.
Sugar-free.
I'm getting more rum than the rest of those Dr. Pepper.
I think we should actually call it to a close here.
Yes.
Just gonna keep going into mad ramblings.
Yeah,
So,
I'm tired.
don't forget about the in-win giveaway on the forum at Extreme Hardware. The link is in the thing here. Also, Chris, please.
Yeah, that's me.
Shh. I'm doing
What?
the exit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm
don't
possibly an
worry.
alcoholic.
Chris is not an alcoholic.
I'm
And,
possibly an alcoholic.
Yes, okay. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us on this extremely just tangenty and rambly Extreme Hardware podcast.
Man, this is a really short episode this week. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.